Welcome back to our channel at Bullseye Movies. Season 2, Episode 9 of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, titled Payback and a Partial Shebang, marks the return of Fred Feigenbacher, and he does not come back quietly. His reappearance immediately signals trouble, as it becomes clear that he has not forgotten the humiliation and sabotage he suffered earlier in the season. Instead of brushing off the past, Fred arrives with a clear agenda: revenge. And this time, he's far more strategic about how he goes about it. The episode serves as a delayed consequence to one of Georgie's most reckless decisions earlier in Season 2. Back in Episode 4, Dirty Hands and a Barbed Wire Fence, Georgie and Reuben crossed a serious line when they sabotaged Fred's tow trucks by pouring bleach into them. At the time, the act was framed as a moment of impulsive defiance, carried out with more bravado than foresight. While there were immediate repercussions, it was always obvious that something larger was looming in the background. Episode 9 finally delivers on that promise, making it clear that Fred has been planning his retaliation patiently and thoroughly. From the moment Fred re-enters the story, the pressure on Georgie begins to mount. Fred doesn't just target the tire shop directly. He launches a full-scale campaign of disruption. He floods the business with fake tow requests, deliberately wastes Georgie's time and resources, and even sends snow tires to Texas, a move that is as petty as it is infuriating. When Georgie confronts him about these actions, Fred flatly denies everything, feigning innocence with a smugness that only makes the situation worse. On the surface, these tactics are irritating and disruptive, but they aren't particularly surprising. What elevates the episode beyond simple business rivalry, however, is the way Fred shifts his focus. Instead of limiting his revenge to professional sabotage, he begins targeting Georgie's personal relationships, specifically his relationship with Mandy and his increasingly strained partnership with Reuben. This narrative choice plays directly into one of the show's greatest strengths. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage has consistently been at its best when it leans into interpersonal conflict rather than external hijinks. By having Fred exploit the cracks in Georgie's relationships, the episode deepens its emotional impact and raises the stakes in a meaningful way. Fred doesn't need to destroy the store outright. He simply needs to destabilize the people Georgie relies on most. What makes this storyline especially compelling is the fact that Georgie is not an innocent victim. In many ways, he has engineered this crisis himself. His impulsive decision to sabotage Fred's trucks wasn't an accident or a misunderstanding. It was a deliberate choice made without regard for long-term consequences. The episode doesn't shy away from that reality, and it's refreshing to see the show hold Georgie accountable rather than framing him as unlucky or unfairly targeted. This emphasis on consequences gives the episode a sense of moral clarity that some earlier installments lacked. Georgie isn't being punished for circumstances beyond his control. He's facing the fallout of his own behavior. That distinction matters, particularly for a character who often relies on charm and quick thinking to escape responsibility. One of the most significant developments in the episode involves Mandy finally learning the full truth about what Georgie did. Fred, for all his flaws, doesn't sugarcoat the situation when he speaks to her. He tells her outright that Georgie broke the law and deliberately sabotaged his business. While Fred's motivations are undeniably selfish, the information he provides is accurate, and that makes Mandy's reaction entirely justified. Mandy's anger doesn't feel exaggerated or forced. If anything, it feels overdue. She realizes that Georgie has been hiding something serious from her, something that could have legal and financial consequences for their family. The betrayal stings not just because of the crime itself, but because of the secrecy surrounding it. Georgie's failure to be honest undermines the trust they're supposed to be building together.